But like, so what are some common misconceptions? Like you gave a great example earlier about somebody asking what they think is a simple question that suddenly it turns into a large problem. So what's a common misconception that is a potentially a much larger issue, but people don't think it is?
So I think for a lot of people who have not had employees before, just learning how to characterize them as whether they're, independent contractors or whether they're actual like W-2 employees, I think that's very confusing. And as you know, the laws keep changing on that. I feel like we've had three different sets of laws in the past 3 years that keep changing little bits here and there. So that's very confusing to figure out, whether you're classifying someone properly in that way. Also, just whether you're classifying someone as hourly or salary, that's also super confusing for people, especially in certain areas in the tech industry in particular. I feel like that's really difficult because you have to be earning a fortune to be considered a salary employee. And people just sort of like, wait, I don't understand. I'm paying this person a fortune. It's like, no, their lobbying group is really good. You're not paying them enough to be salaried. So I think there's those little issues. And I think it's also just the wage and hour laws are not sort of set up to make sense in a lot of 9-to-5 working jobs where, you get an emergency call, you have to deal with it. Or even like if you're in a restaurant, you suddenly have a new table come in and it's just not very conducive to like, wait, I have to take my break right now, or I have to do my lunch right now. And people don't realize, well, you have to do something if you can't do that, but it isn't, so it's not like a factory setting where everybody stops at a certain time and you move on. It's really easy to organize. And I think people don't realize that they can get caught up in those legal issues because they think they're doing a good job, but they don't know all the little details.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We went out a few days ago, and the waitress was like, "Hey, I'm going on my break, and this person's going to take over." Now, in the past, I would say, that wouldn't happen, or the person would just work a long shift. I know, especially in the restaurant industry, they're ripe for wage and hour cases just because it is really hard to give people breaks or meal breaks when it's a rush hour and they're short staffed. And right now, people not being able to get hired. But I thought it was really interesting how this business handled it because it was very gracious and very polite and say, hey, this person's going to take over. And I appreciated that because I'm like, I know it's not easy for businesses to maintain that.